Welcome. First, and most important, thank you for joining us today and joining us. If this is your first time starting today, we are very, very thankful for this opportunity. The opportunity to bring the 11th step of magic to the English speaking world. We know that what we are trying to do by bringing this teaching that José Luis Parise created 40 years ago, he created it in Spanish, and we want to bring it to English. We know that what we are trying to do goes against the natural way of doing this kind of translations. Usually, people try to go from their acquired language to their natural language. So they want to, let's say, for us, it will be to go from something in English to Spanish. What we're trying to do, we know it's not the natural way of doing it. It's the hard way of doing it, the difficult way of doing it, the way that nobody will think is the best way to do it. But we know, thanks to the 11th step of magic, that it's the best way to do it. What's not natural for any of us. When I speak of we, I'm speaking of myself, Javier Dardarian. I'm speaking of Carolina Malatini and Ramsas Cabrera, who are bringing these videos, and this is our first live stream. We have been doing we have been doing recordings, and this is our first live stream. We have been bringing an introduction to the 11th step of magic for the first time. We were very involved in the traduction of Chancing, what the first José Luis Parise book translated to English, Casualizar in Spanish, it's Chancing in English, and we have been creating videos. And I think if we add up all the time that we have been in José Luis Parise's school, his international school of psychoanalysis and occultism, I mean, we can add up to maybe 40 years of time in his school. Right now, I have almost 20 years in his school. Carolina, I think 15 years, and Ramses is 10 years in the school. So we have quite some time as students and teachers in José Luis Parise School. And part of our path through teaching is bringing the 11th step of magic to English. Why do we want to do it now? Well, let's say it has much to do with the current state of the spiritual world, of the esoteric world. We know that for anyone who wants to start getting into the spiritual world, right now, there are so many ways of starting that it's easy to get lost. You can go with decrees, you can go with the secret, journaling, visualizations, energy, meditation. You have mindfulness, and I'm just naming the trending ones, the ones that right now, I mean, everybody's speaking about. But in so many years, there in decades and centuries and so many time, there have been many trends that try to do the same thing. They try to separate the eternal teaching into small techniques, something that you can just do one time during the day, something that you can like reduce to a small technique. That's what mindfulness tries to do. They work. I don't say they don't work, but they work while they work. I mean, you can do mindfulness, and you will need to add exercise every time. You can do visualizations. You can learn a phrase, a decree somebody told you that will work, and it will work sometime. But all those different techniques have the same problem. They don't give you a new paradigm. You will just be adding something new to the thing that actually created the problem in your life. What we are trying to bring to you, and what we want to bring to you and to everyone who connects with this, is a new paradigm. And that's the solution José Luis Parise found. Why? Because right now, the esoteric world, the spiritual world is chaotic. You don't know where to start from. What do you do first in your day? You do your journaling, you do your visualization, you do mindfulness. What's the first thing you have to do? You think of your energy, you try to see the signals in your world. Okay. José Luis Parise went through all the esoteric books, the esoteric teachings in the history, and he created a method. He found the similar things in the different books. He went through the teachings of Christ, he went to the Mayans, he went to the shamans, he did several hundreds of trips through the world, and created what we call, and he calls, the method of magic, the 11 steps of magic. 11 steps that put order where there is chaos. Well, that's what the God did in the Genesis. what God did in the first steps of every religion. God found that there was chaos and he created order in that chaos. This is what the 11 steps of magic do. Right where you will see a chaotic world, the 11 steps of magic will help you find the order in that chaos. And that's what the 11 steps of magic bring to you. But most important, this is not a technique. This is not something just to do once in a while. This is a new paradigm. It's, you can say, a paradigm shift. Why? Why now? Well, we have, I think it's like 12,000 years of prophecies speaking to us at this time, speaking to us about this paradigm shift. Right now, we are very inside what's called the new era. And the New Age movement was the opposite of the new era. The New Age movement has created all these different techniques and ideas and small teachings that try to reduce the teaching, the 11th of magic, to different small things. And if you stay in the new age, you will never get into the new era. The prophecies from all the teachings in the world during thousands of years speak about this time where we need to go to a new paradigm. And the 11th of magic bring you that. A new paradigm from where you will be able to create your own reality and connect with things that you will never think that they were possible before. But we are just in the introduction today. We want to walk with you through the first steps we will do from step 1 to 5. So you can start practicing and move forward practicing these steps in your life. We know these are turbulent times in the world. Everything seems to be more chaotic. The world seems to be more and more chaotic every day. But we have a key in our hands. The prophecies from these teachings speak about these times and speak about a chaos in this time. So if we have something that shows us the order in that chaos, we are following the steps, same steps that God did to create reality. And that's what the 11 steps of magic help you to create your own reality. We go step by step, understanding first how and with what steps you will create what you want to create in your life. Something that you think is impossible, but most important, in these times of war chaos, that if we can see it in while time goes from 2012 to now, it's clear that the war is accelerating, that the chaos is accelerating, that everything seems to be worse and worse every day. Well, that's right what the prophecies told us, that the war will start going crazier every day. But in that crazy war, there is a paradigm that will help us to create our own reality and don't be affected by all those crazy things. The economic crisis, the political crisis, the religious crisis, the scientific problems we keep having every day. Those are the four paradigms of the old age. The new era needs for us to go through the 11th step of magic as a paradigm and to make the decisions and to decide what we want to create, how we want to create it, and when we want to create it in our own reality. Creating our own reality is something that goes beyond what the human think is possible. Everybody think it's possible to actually, let's say, okay, improve your reality. That all the old paradigms do that, but to create your own reality and to be able to go beyond with it, beyond what the limits of your life are right now, that's something that only magic brings to your life. And the 11th step of magic helps you connect with that, and it's a path. It's not only a technique. You will learn some techniques. I mean, there are different techniques that you can learn, but they work really well and they are very effective and they work for your life if you do them as part of the paradigm shift that the 11th step of magic bring to you. We want to go step by step to the first steps so you connect with this and you start creating your own reality step by step. We are very thankful for this opportunity, and I will go to Ramses right now and he will move forward with the different first steps. Thank you.
It's a really great chance to connect with these steps in order to create your own reality. And the thing is that it's all pretty well ordered. It follows a very precise order, so you don't have this, let's put it this way, this uncertainty that the current chaotic society usually shows, where we have, as Javier said just before, we have all these let's put it this way, this wide series of techniques that have no order. In order to create your own reality, you have 11 steps that the method is made of and that you will follow in order to make your reality become real, as in become your own reality. And those steps are as follows. We're going to make an introduction to the first steps, and these first steps are actually also presented in the videos in our channel. What we are going to do now is going over what we have already taught about, what we have already introduced. And that way you will have like the main keys, the main concepts, the main tools in order to implement, in order to follow the steps. So first of all, everybody who wants to create anything, wants to create something, let's put it this way, they want to create a result. You want to create a result. Everybody who does that starts from a base state. That base state is chaos. But chaos of what? Chaos of the idea. Everybody starts with an idea. And as you may know, many people in current society are always focusing on you have to have ideas. We need people with ideas. And newsflash, everybody has ideas. But that doesn't make a difference. Why? Because if you leave your result, your project, your dream in a state of ideas, what you are going to create is more and more chaos. And where can we see that? We can see that precisely in our current society, where everybody pays attention to their ideas, and the only thing that creates is more and more chaotic conflicts, wars, fights between people. And perhaps even before that, what you want to create, if you don't get it beyond that state of ideas, isn't going to transcend that. So the first step of magic is recognizing that chaos of the idea as the base state that you have to transcend. What do you have to do in order to transcend it? First of all, you have to put your ideas into words. That's a main key, listening to the words that you use in order to name that chaotic idea. You have to make that shift. And when you put your ideas into words, you have to listen to them in order to find out whether your ideas match the words that you are using or not. If your ideas do not match the words that you're using, there's something inside you that's dividing those things. People who say, I want to lose some weight, for instance. Okay, in order to lose something, you have to have it beforehand. Oh, so what you're summoning, what you're invoking in your words is actually different from what you're imagining that you are focusing your attention on. We can see this even very clearly in current pop culture. Perhaps you may know TV series such as Game of Thrones, or all these current TV series, shows, films, books, where a character wants to conquer a land. They say, I want to sit on the throne of Westeros. Westeros is, for instance, the name of the fictional realm of Game of Thrones. I want to sit on the throne of Westeros, That's my dream. They have put their idea into words. What's the key difference? You have to listen to that. You want to sit on the throne. Everybody who has a physical body can do that. Doing that, sitting on the throne, and actually becoming the king or queen of the land is something completely different. They are completely different things. What made that while the person thought in their ideas that they were thinking about becoming the king or queen of that land, they actually said something different, something completely different. There was a division, there was a split in their most subtle realm, their psyche. There was a division, and they didn't decide it. If something decided that division from such a subtle state, then whatever follows afterwards will also be decided by that division. And that's the thing that the method allows you to realize. First of all, either you unify your forces, your subtle forces, starting from your words, your thoughts, and your emotions. Either you unify all of that, or what you're going to create is more and more chaos. What do you have to do in order to unify? As we anticipated before, listen to what your words are actually saying. Find out where does that division come from. And in the meantime, you're going to go through an inner journey in order to unify those forces, using also finding the exact words in order to name the result that you're going to achieve. And that will take you in an inner journey, because everybody, when they are starting here, and actually everybody in our society as human beings, do not pay attention to the words that they use. They do not pay attention to the ideas they think. They do not pay attention to the emotions they feel. And that's a problem. The method of magic consists, first of all, in these first two steps, the chaos of the idea. And the second step, which I haven't named yet, they teach you to put that in order. You have to put your ideas in order. And something even more impactful, you will find that among all those chaotic ideas, they have a hidden order. And that hidden order has to be listened to. That's one of the main keys of the order of the words. The chaotic ideas that you follow automatically, they all have a hidden order. As long as you follow that hidden order, what you're going to create is the chaotic results that have been determined in your words, in your thoughts, in your emotion, in your psyche, but not by you, but by what you were taught that was possible, what you were said that was impossible, etc., etc. Once you have put exactly the exact name to the result that you are going to achieve, that you want to achieve, well, now comes step 3. We already underwent step 1 and step 2. We have to follow through with step 3, step number 3. For instance, in The Lord of the Rings, perhaps you may know these films and actually books, book series, very famous books, very famous films by Peter Jackson. They had a clear result. Okay, we have to destroy the magical artifact where the entire story hinged on. You have to destroy the One Ring, and we have to go to this volcano in order to destroy the ring. You can say, well, that's a clear result. That matches the ideas and the words match together. But we don't know how to do it. Why? Because it's a very long journey. It's impossible. We cannot do it. And we don't know how to do it. Step number 3, the danger of the form. You mustn't stop before the form, before the thoughts that say, oh, I don't know how to do it. It's impossible. I have to know how to do it before in order to actually realize what I want to do. All that is dangerous terrain. You don't have to worry about how, because you simply have to keep moving forward in order for the how to appear. Actually, Frodo Baggins and all his team, all the community, the fellowship of of the ring, they found the ways to reach actually their objective while they were kept walking. Actually, the teaching is one of the main keys of the teaching is about that. Keep walking, keep finding the ways to keep walking and making your results, making your objectives, reaching your goals. Keep walking, because that way you will be undergoing the inner journey that will help you actually develop yourself as a person. Step number 3, we said the danger of the form. I think that we can consider at this point about the how is how you feel. Okay, I'm going to make sure that my emotions actually match my thoughts and my words. If you unify all those 3 things, reality will start reacting. How and in what ways? Well, that is something that we have to develop in the following step. Carolina will continue now. Thank you very much.
How are you? Hello, how are you? Thanks, Ramses, and thanks, Javier. I have to say, I'm not that articulated. Javier and Ramses are quite articulated in Spanish and also in English. I'm a bit more articulated in Spanish than in English, but I'll try to do my best to honor them at least and honor you that are listening to this live. If you follow us in our YouTube, you know that we usually upload recordings. Not the live is not our specialty, but from now on, we're going to be doing lives a little bit more frequently. So we hope you're here today and next steps and next times, okay? Because these are steps. Why did I say steps where this word was not supposed to be there? Well, because as Javier has said, this is also challenge for us because, well, he explained already why, but also the live is a challenge because it's not the same recording. And then if you didn't like something you said or it wasn't very clear, well, you stop and record again. Here, there's no recording again. So we planned to include that challenge from now on. Okay, so you are very welcomed here. And after step number 1, number 2, and number 3, what step comes? Number 4. Good. I know how to count at least. So what are you going to do in step number 4? Well, as you started moving towards what you want and you decided is going to be your result, as Ramses has said, sit on the Iron Throne, I think he said. In those examples, I'm not going to use those examples, but once you've set the results, you set what are you going to use the 11 steps of magic for, you start moving. In step number 3 is where you actually start moving, because step number 1 and number 2 are more, well, first thinking what you want, then naming it, then listen to what you're saying, etc., etc. And in step number 3, you start moving towards what you want. Okay, when you start moving towards something, for example, when you are in a road going somewhere, well, signals start to appear, right? I don't know. A signal can be a stop. A signal can be, I don't know, slide road, or it can also be an animal, for instance, okay? An animal appears in the middle of the road. And you say, why? No, the signals are the one you expect, the one that the red and white, okay? Well, most of them are red and white, also blue ones or green ones, but that's are the ones you expect, okay? But there can also be unexpected signals, like an animal, for example, or someone crossing the road suddenly in the middle of the night or during the day. It would be a surprise anyway. So all of these are signals, okay? And the most important thing of step number 4 is signals. The universe is going to start sending signals as soon as you start practicing this, as soon as you start saying what you want and moving forward and moving to that, going to walking to that, towards that, the universe is going to send signals. But you have to be very, very, very careful. Why? Because usually we tend to think, okay, there are good signals or bad signals, right? Okay. So you said, well, if I don't know, let's say you were, I don't know, let's say you're not very good at love. Let's say, okay, you find it difficult to be in a relationship, let's say, and you want to use the 11 steps of magic to achieve that, to achieve, I don't know, a relationship, for instance, okay? So you start, you say your phrase, you say what you want, you listen to what you say, okay, perfect. And you say, okay, I'll start moving. You will do what people usually do, okay? I don't know, go out, go to a bar, use application apps or whatever you do to start a relationship. And in doing that, signals are going to appear. I don't know, someone you liked is going to say hi, or you I don't know, if you like someone in a bar, he or she approaches you and starts talking to you. Maybe there's nothing else on that day, but you can tell, oh, this is working, okay? That's a signal, clear signal. But you will also have to see if in that signal you can check outside. What do you mean it's outside? Outside your thoughts, outside your words and stuff. If what you are really saying, if you what really believe you are going to, you are willing to achieve, is what actually you are giving the order, the world, the universe, to get to you. I said it a little bit complicated, but you're going to test if you're actually moving towards what you want, okay? Because, for instance, if you are willing to be in a nice relationship and you go to a bar and a man, let's say, approaches you, but the man is married, that's probably what you want, what you don't want. You see, if you want to be in a serious relationship and stuff, probably you will realize, oh, okay, I'm doing something that it's okay because someone approached me. So, and before it wasn't that easy, but there's something wrong because it's someone I cannot be in a serious relationship with. Okay, you see? So there you will say, okay, I'm doing something wrong. What is it? Okay, and there you start listening. Because I said that I want a boyfriend, for instance. For a man to be a boyfriend, there's a previous, there's something that has to be previous. If you are a boyfriend, it's because you have a girlfriend. Or for a man to be a husband, or for instance, I want to find a husband. Okay, for a man to be a husband, there has to be a wife. You see? So there, when that signal is going to help you realizing if what you're saying, if the order you are giving to the universe is the one you think you are giving. Okay? See? Okay. So step number four helps you with that. You start testing. You start testing what happens when you move forward what you want. You move towards what you want. I keep confusing towards and forwards. Sorry. Okay. If the signals are okay, if the signals are what you want, you see that the signals are carrying you to what you want. Okay, you will move forward. Now it's forward. You will move forward and go to step number 5. Step number 5 is also difficult. Why? Because it's a step that there's no other teaching that has this step. Nobody talks about this. Only, I don't know, in business, maybe they take this into account, but business is not spiritual teaching, okay? So, evaluation. What does it mean? It means that you have to evaluate yourself about what you have achieved so far, okay? That's what I said business, because in business, they keep doing evaluations all the time to see if they are earning what they said they were going to be earning or not on stuff. But then in the spiritual world, nobody evaluates anything. It's like, well, you have to go where your heart wants you to go. And if it didn't happen, it was because it wasn't meant to happen. We are not that way. You have to evaluate. Are you going towards what you want, or you are going towards something different that has nothing to do with what you wanted? For instance, in the example, a man comes, approaches you, then you give you interchange your phone numbers, and then you start talking, and you know that he has a wife, but still you think he's going to leave his wife, and he promises you that you're going to be his wife, and blah blah blah, and you start creating a world where this is what I wanted. No, it wasn't what you wanted. Okay, so in step number 5, you evaluate if what you achieved is what you said you were going to achieve. Okay, you have to check. And why is this so important? Because usually the self, the id, we've called it also, but especially the self, lies to itself. Okay, you lie to yourself. You make yourself believe that you're achieving what you wanted. In my example, okay, but that's not what you wanted. So we need a step where you can evaluate if you are doing the right thing. Not the right thing as in a moral way, right thing. Right regarding what you said you wanted. And this is unique in the 11 steps of magic, because I know that you don't, in different things like, I don't know, The Secret or whatever, you never evaluate, because you never have a starting and a finish line point in those teaching. Usually you do whatever you want to do and it's okay, usually. But here, it's not like that, okay? So step number 5 is evaluation. We use very powerful tools in that step that we probably someday, sooner or later, are going to explain in these lives, which is the Pearce graph. We use it a lot to evaluate, and other tools that we can explain someday, because as we said, this is only an introduction for today, okay? So, and there finishes the first half of the method of magic, which is the most important part. And it's the part you're going to do many times, because sometimes you do step 1 to step 4 to step 5. No, I said step 4 and it was right. 1 to 4 several times to achieve what you want to achieve. Because in step number 4, as I said, well, maybe you realize, thanks to the signals, no, I'm doing something wrong. And you have to go back to step 1 and 2 again, okay? So it's not a problem if you have to do the first half of the method of magic several times. It's not a problem, not at all, okay? But you need to evaluate in order to know if you have to start again or not, okay? That's why we call it initiation, okay? Because you have to ignite many times, okay? Because because remember that what the most important thing is not to get the thing you want, but the learning through that process, okay? So we've done a lot of steps in these years to develop the first half of the method of magic in different videos. We explained the steps in different videos, and we wanted to do closure of that first half of the 11 steps of magic. But we are going to be doing these lives frequently, okay? Explaining different tools, as I said, graph, as I said, also explaining the second half of the 11 steps of magic, because it's also very, very important, of course. And we're probably, I don't know, application groups. I mean, we have the future is, huge. It's enormous, okay? So subscribe to our channel, subscribe to the Facebook group, The 11 Steps of Magic, and we have a web page, okay? But best go to the Facebook group, which is The 11 Steps of Magic, and if you also have friends that are native speakers in English, which is the idea of we of course that everybody's welcome, but if you have friends that only speak English, or I don't know, German or Japanese, but they speak English as well, you're welcome to follow us and to make them follow us in our social media, because we're going to do this very often in the future. Okay, so thank you for being here, and see you next time. Thank you.